Good morning. Thank you for joining me today, this Friday, the 12th of February. Today's reading is from Ecclesiastes, chapter 11, verses 1 to 8. Cast your bread upon the waters, for after many days you will find it again. Give portions to 7, yes, to 8. You do not know what disaster may come upon the land. If clouds are full of water, they pour rain on the earth. Whether a tree falls to the south or to the north, in the place where it falls, there it will lie. Whoever watches the wind will not plant. Whoever looks at the clouds will not reap. As you do not know the path of the wind, or how a body is formed in a mother's womb, so you cannot understand the work of God, the maker of all things. Sow your seed in the morning, and at evening let your hands not be idle. For you do not know which will succeed, whether this or that, or whether both will do equally well. Light is sweet, and it pleases the eyes to see the sun. However many years anyone may live, let them enjoy them all. But let them remember the days of darkness, for there will be many. Everything to come is meaningless. At first reading, this passage seems to be rather disjointed and several unconnected images lumped together. The writer of these verses is often credited to Solomon, but some suggest otherwise. It is one of the books of wisdom, and the writer was probably being more philosophical than preaching to a crowd. As I reread this passage, these verses seem to be really relevant to us during this pandemic. The writer starts by telling us to cast our bread upon the waters, for after many days you will find it again. Or as some other translations or versions say, ship your grain across the sea. Merchants would send their laden ships off across the sea, not sure when they might return or what cargo they might bring. Life brings both risk and opportunity. Because life offers very few guarantees, we must be prepared. Casting our bread upon the waters can also be interpreted as that life has opportunities, and we must seize them, not merely play it safe. Just because life is uncertain doesn't mean we should do nothing. We need a spirit of trust and adventure, knowing God is on our side. Jem and Sam reminded us of this on Tuesday. God will always be with us. He will never forsake us. In verses 3 and 4, we see that the cloud and the wind are mysterious things that we humans have no control over. People are powerless either to cause these natural phenomena or to prevent them from happening. In this pandemic, there are many times when I've felt powerless and out of control, and that's not a comfortable place to be. The farmer who waits for perfect weather conditions to sow or reap will never do so. Waiting for perfect conditions will mean inactivity. What am I waiting for? This practical insight is especially applicable to our spiritual lives. If we wait for the perfect time and place for personal Bible reading, we will never begin. If we wait for a perfect church, we will never join. If we wait for the perfect ministry, we will never serve. I need to take steps now to grow spiritually. I shouldn't wait for conditions that may never exist. During this time of the pandemic, I'm sure almost everyone would agree that the conditions have been far from perfect. But don't let the restrictions and imposed limitations stop us from drawing closer to God. In the last few verses of our reading, the writer encourages us to rejoice in every day. We don't know which of our actions or decisions will succeed, or how what we do might benefit others. But we need to keep trying and taking risks. Do something different today. So I need to think about this today, about the need in life to live with uncertainty and not to be paralyzed by it. I have to be prepared to take chances. In the Psalms, often the writers assume that when life is bad, we don't give in to the idea that it has never been good and can never be good again. Neither do you deny the grimness of the present reality. We're living through challenging and difficult times. Much of our lives and what we're able to do is out of our control. But we need to remember to trust God to be there for us. He promised to do so and is in control even though we cannot understand all. God is walking beside us, longing to help us through the uncertainties ahead. I need to draw nearer to him, to spend more time sitting in his presence and to hear his voice, then to step out with boldness in his strength. So I ask myself again, what am I waiting for? What are you waiting for? Thank you for joining me today. Have a good day together with our Lord.